Most spiritual seekers think they're supposed to feel their way to God. Baal HaSulam's second letter says you're approaching it completely backward. In 1924, a Kabbalist in Jerusalem named Yehuda Ashlag, known to students as Baal HaSulam, sat down and wrote a series of letters to his followers. These weren't casual notes. They were surgical instructions for the inner work of the soul. Letter 2 is one of the most direct he ever wrote, and it cuts straight to the bone of how most of us misunderstand spiritual growth. So what's the confusion he's addressing? Most people think spirituality is about achieving a certain feeling, peace, bliss, connection, love. We chase experiences. We meditate hoping to feel transcendent. We serve others hoping to feel the warmth of unity. But Baal HaSulam says, that's not the work at all. In fact, feelings can be a trap. Here's the pivot. The real spiritual work isn't about what you feel. It's about what you do. Specifically, it's about training your will, your intention, to operate according to a principle that contradicts your nature. Your nature is to receive for yourself. The work is to give for the sake of the Creator or for others without waiting for a reward or a feeling. Why does this matter so much? Because feelings lie. Your emotions change with the weather, with sleep, with who you spoke to this morning. If you build your spiritual life on feelings, you're building on sand. One day you feel connected, the next day you feel empty. You're chasing a phantom. But if your work is rooted in decision, in the will to act in a certain way regardless of how you feel, then you have something solid. You have a practice. And practice, Baal HaSulam says, is where real transformation happens. This is the distinction between mysticism and the actual Kabbalistic path. So what's the practical instruction in letter 2? Baal HaSulam tells his student to commit to a specific practice, giving to others or serving the Creator not for the sake of a reward or a pleasant sensation, but purely because it's the right thing to do, even if it feels empty, even if you feel nothing. This sounds harsh, it sounds cold, and at first it is. But here's what he's really saying. When you separate your action from your emotional appetite, you're breaking the chains of the ego. You're no longer enslaved to how you feel. You're free. And here's the secret he hints at. Once you've trained yourself to act from intention rather than feeling, something unexpected happens. The feelings come, not as the goal but as a byproduct. You develop a genuine love, not the sentimental kind, but the real kind. The kind that doesn't depend on how the other person makes you feel. But there's a trap inside this teaching, and Baal HaSulam warns against it. Don't use this as an excuse to be mechanical or cold with people. Don't serve others while resenting them, thinking I'm doing this for my spiritual work. That's not the work, that's ego in disguise. The real work is subtle. It's about acting with genuine care but without needing to feel the warmth of that care. You give your attention, your effort, your time fully, but you don't demand that it make you feel good. That's the paradox, and that's where the real transformation lies. Letter 2 also addresses something else, the question of free will. If you're always driven by what feels good, do you really have choice? Or are you just a puppet of your desires? Baal HaSulam says true freedom comes when you can act against your nature, when you can choose to give even when your instinct is to take. This is why he calls it work. It's not a feeling you achieve, it's a practice you commit to. Day after day, moment after moment, you choose the intention that serves something greater than your immediate pleasure. That choice, repeated, rewires you. And here's where it connects to love your neighbor as yourself, the core law of Kabbalah. Most people think this means you should feel love for others. But Baal HaSulam's letter 2 reveals the real meaning. You should act toward others as you would act toward yourself, regardless of what you feel. The love is in the action, not in the sentiment. So the question we started with, are you supposed to feel your way to God? Now has an answer. No, you're supposed to act your way there. And the feelings, when they come, will be genuine because they're not what you were chasing. They're a gift, not a wage. This is the revolution of Baal HaSulam's letter 2. It strips away the sentimentality from spirituality and replaces it with something far more powerful: conscious choice. Not blind faith, not emotional experience, but the deliberate daily commitment to act in alignment with a principle that transcends the self. And if you're wondering whether this actually works, whether it actually changes you, Baal HaSulam says yes, but not the way you think. You won't wake up one day feeling enlightened. Instead, you'll notice that your relationships are deeper, your service is purer, your freedom is real, and the love you feel for others becomes unshakable because it's no longer dependent on how they make you feel. Letter 2 is short, but it's dense with implication. It's the foundation for everything else in Baal HaSulam's teachings. Once you understand this, that the work is not about feeling but about will, everything else clicks into place. The path becomes clear. The practice becomes possible. If you want to understand the real mechanics of spiritual growth, not the fantasy version, but the actual work, subscribe so you don't miss the next letter from Baal HaSulam.